Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Again, we're going to be bringing back the viewer gameplay reviews. This one, from one of my Twitch mods, Quantum. We're going to go over his comp gold game here and see what's really happening here. We're going to be seeing what he could do a little bit better, where he did well, kind of see how this match played out. So yeah guys, without any further ado, let's get straight into gameplay. So let's see the build here for a sec. Dune Marchers, very nice to get that extra mobility. Nice build here, stat-wise. Good job maxing out your resilience and recovery so you can stay in the fight longer. And and it looks like you're on Sentinel Titan too, so getting that overshield barricade pretty frequently is really nice. That's a really nice Criminal's Dagger, by the way. Look at that stability right there. That's really nice. I assume that's a really nice Scavenger's Fate as well, but nice choice of the Dune Marchers. Just great looking build overall. Solitude on Clash. Okay, interesting. So, kind of like the last video we went over. Clash gonna play a little bit slower just because there isn't an objective, and the only really thing you're gonna be going for is killing as many people without dying. So we'll just see how this plays out. I imagine this will be a pretty slow match. So we start out. We have. Well, let me see if I can turn up the quality actually. So we've got two Sentinel Titans, you and your teammate, and then you have a Dawnblade Warlock against 3 Warlocks. So the one thing, especially in Clash, Warlock has a really strong ability called the Healing Rift. I mean, of course, everybody knows what that does, but the Healing Rift can really slow down the pace of play, really to a standstill, especially because you can't really engage a Warlock when they're in the Healing Rift and you don't have any source of healing. You do have your Barricade, but it isn't quite the same level of sustain as the Warlocks do. So again, we should be trying to avoid fighting multiple Warlocks, but potentially standing in the same Healing Rift, and it's going to happen quite frequently here because there are 3 of them, so just keep an eye out for that. Hold on, let me see it. That was a solid nade actually to open up the round. You notice the ping here, close, really good. You see your teammate running in, and rather than running in with your teammate with your shotgun, I do like the throw of your grenade, assisting your teammate who is potentially fighting someone really close. You land a nice grenade, and it does a ginormous amount of damage because you are on Sentinel Titan, I assume, with controlled demolition. So really nice grenade there, good assist for your teammate. Nice shotgun there. Again, you don't necessarily always need to have your shotgun one-shotting to get maximum value. You get some nice chip damage there. He's almost down to the red. And I like how you switch to your primary, get some good shots in. Again, you didn't really kill him, but you did make him a little bit weak. Follow-up there a little bit risky because you know special ammo, but you did help clean up the kill, making sure that your teammate's death was not in vain. So solid play all around. Again, I would just be a little bit cautious when pushing that guy, just because you don't have any special ammo to defend yourself. Because if he potentially had additional like shotgun ammo, you could be putting yourself in a bad situation there. But again, solid help from yourself right there. Again, good job with your holding your primary with your teammate, getting some solid damage. We should be, again, because this is Clash, the whole idea of being able to run up the score, you're going to be needing to push and manipulate the spawns to your guys' advantage. You guys did just have that quick kill on this, let me go back a little bit just where the body is. You do kill this guy right here, moving his body right here. Now, you're playing solo, I can tell, but if you notice any other pings, you should be pushing away from those, or towards those other pings, so this guy doesn't spawn with his teammates. That will allow you to, again, make him spawn split again, so you can turn around, kill him again, and repeat the process where you have that numbers advantage. The only way they're going to be able to break the spawn trap, if you guys don't mess up, is if he just somehow trades in a 2v1 situation, making it very difficult. So that is what you should be looking to do as you get that first kill. You don't really notice any ping, so it's good. You're kind of not like you're playing your life pretty well. However, it is. Let me pause. I'm sorry for pausing the video live. I will say again, this map is also really big, so it's definitely gonna be a little bit harder to manipulate the spawn points of the enemy players. But that is something like if you're playing Clash on a smaller map like Jav or like Anomaly or something, definitely keep that in mind. Sorry, lots of pausing. We're only a minute in the video, so. Good job disengaging from a flying warlock. He had obviously had the advantage in the first shot on you for this Redrix. I'll replay this engagement in a second here. So, you notice obviously there's a ping on your left. He's kind of dim actually, so he's on a different level of elevation than you. You are playing 3 warlocks, so you can kind of assume he's kind of floating above on your left here. And you do have this ping close. Now, really, realistically, you're in no man's land right now, because you don't really have any special element to defend yourself, and they're really too close to challenge with your 120 hand cannon here, because you do 120 hand cannons are really strong, but their weakness is their time to kill and their like usability up close. So right now, I'd be kind of looking to maybe back up a little bit past the stairs here, so where you can look at the area where your teammate is still standing, but you're also away from the potential risk of a special weapon here, and which is exactly what happens. This guy just like runs in with a shotgun and kind of cleans you up here, or doesn't clean you up actually. Oh, he doesn't. You do get lucky, and he misses his shotgun, so you were able to double melee him. But you do eventually get cleaned up by someone else. So again, you're kind of in no man's land, trapped there without your special ammo, and you don't really have a primary that works best in this engagement range. But your teammate does a nice job of cleaning up for you. So you should kind of be looking towards blocking the spawn, manipulating where the other teams are going to be looking. It's already been a little bit too late, so we should be looking. Holding out your primary is really good since you know special ammo still. Teammate gets a nice kill. Good job holding out your primary. Solid damage. That was a little bit unlucky. It's always a little bit difficult to tell. Like if someone, you can see a ping. I think you may have been ADS a little bit too long. Let me replay that a little bit. But you're focused on this guy, which is totally understandable. He's already weak. Your teammate shot him. So it's going to be really hard to notice a flank coming around here, especially when normally the player that would be able to give off information of a flank is the player who just died. So you're kind of in a pinched position. But you did get some decent damage where you headshot him. But realistically, they just had a solid like point of attack there where you kind of got pinched. So really, you should be trying to wait for your team. Nice job grouping up. We should be trying to attack angles for our 120. Like, okay, let me go back here. Like playing up against this wall here, especially when you're peeking from the left side, very strong with a 120 hand cannon. When you're peeking from the left, I'm going to keep saying this in all these videos, especially if you're a hand cannon player. When you're peeking from the left, less of your body is visible than when you're peeking from the right. So being able to peek in and out from this left side here is very, very difficult for them to shoot back. And that's where the strength of the 120 comes in, where you do massive damage for each individual peek. Even though your time to kill isn't necessarily the fastest, that time to kill is kind of negated because most of the time they can't even shoot you. And again, peeking from that left side, you are less visible when you are peeking. When you're peeking from the right, you're a little bit more visible, like your shoulder and some of your feet can be showing more easily. So you're kind of in the open, moving towards their teammate. Good job looking left and cleaning up for your teammate. Nice team shots. Good res so your teammate can stay grouped with you guys. Good job working yourself towards heavy. Your teammate's flying in, which is probably not the best decision. You shoulder charge in there, miss your shotgun, clean that guy up. A little bit ugly, but I do like your decision to follow up with your teammate. Because here's the thing. Even though I don't really agree with your teammate running in and playing and just kind of running in to contest the heavy when there are potentially multiple players attacking him, you are at least doing the right thing by pushing in and helping him. I always like to say that it's best to make a bad decision as a team rather than making a good decision for yourself. And so really, you're going to have more success following up with this guy and potentially trading him out rather than letting him die and they can grab heavy and then they can push you 3v2. So I do like your decision to push here. You shoulder charge over him. He misses a shotgun, and there was a nice kill right there from yourself, and your teammate actually gets a nice kill right there to clean up the round. And now you guys have a huge lead. 5 kills is pretty big in Clash. It's over a wipe, and you have heavy control, so I actually expect your guys' lead to grow here. That's my guess. You're about halfway to your supers. Cooldown's coming up again. So you've got to have your grenade and your barricade. Nice kill from your team with your heavy ammo. Your teammate actually slides out. That was a really bad decision by your teammate because he kind of slid out in the open of this heavy. He's trying to look to help with your teammate. Now that you're down in this 3v1 situation, try to look towards backing up potentially because your teammates are not going to be spawning over here. They're going to be spawning behind you because that is where the enemies are not. So again, you should be trying to look towards grouping up with your other two teammates. You're kind of just standing here, kind of waiting for some action, it looks like. But you should be trying to back up to where your teammates spawn. As you see, your teammates already are over here. You should realistically already be close to them, maybe even by this rock by this time. That way you're not getting potentially shot in the back, having to use your grenade to potentially stop them from peeking. So if you ran back all the way here, you may still have been able to keep your grenade instead of having to throw it to protect yourself from getting peeked. But it's okay. I do like your decision to use your grenade after making that decision. Solid team shots. Look towards, again, playing closer to the wall so you can peek in and out. And right here, when you're peeking right this, you're also susceptible from somebody walking up on the left. I do hear gunshots a little bit later in this engagement. It sounds like they're one person trying to wrap around, and they could easily have a free kill on you, again, because you're kind of wide in the open, not really any cover really available for you to work with. But solid team shots from your teammate as you work towards cover, but again, if you were out in the open a little bit longer, he could have wrapped around, but you did a good job backing up, getting a little bit closer to cover as you challenge this guy. You did hear he has, he killed your teammate with Ace of Spades, so he most likely has Memento Mori, so challenging this guy when you're already low is going to be a little bit of a struggle. As he cleans you up and gets his Ace perk again. But yeah, potentially if you backed up a little bit farther, all the way back to when your teammates were dead in the first place, you may have been able to have a better team fight where you guys were grouped up. May have had some better team shots, but not the worst thing ever. So really, we should be looking to kind of bait out some of those Memento Mori shots because just challenging him straight up, you're going to be at a disadvantage. Yeah, nice job kind of playing close to cover here. You're walking out a little bit away from cover as you work your way towards this wall. 91, good damage. Good job staying closer to this wall. Nice team shots there, teammate. Good damage there, Quantum. Good damage there again. Really nice. Really nice job playing the wall right there. Again, play close to this wall, peek in and out. Nice. Nice. Well done. That was really well done. Basically really playing your cover really well. That guy with the Ace of Spades, his range is actually decreased when he's Memento Mori, so you're really taking advantage of your 120 range. That was a really nice job. As your teammate gets sniped, you're probably trying to run away. Oh, good cleanup. Good job keeping your shotgun out. And good double kill. Overshield kind of saved you there. Perfect. I do like your switch to your shotgun right there. I like how you're not really using your shotgun that much. You're mostly using your primary, so that's really good. Good job playing your primary a lot of this match. Good job playing close to cover. That was kind of unlucky, but again, as I've said before, you're kind of stuck. When you're peeking from the right, you are a little bit more visible, potentially to the sniper. I mean, honestly, myself, I didn't even notice the sniper was there, but in the future, maybe, instead of challenging the angle from this left side here, I know you were trying to go for this guy back on the rock, but potentially a safer angle would be back here on this right side where you can peek from the left. Even crouched, you could crouch and peek this from the left. That way you're off radar, and potentially, let's say, this guy who snipes you tries to walk up to, help his teammate over here. You could see him play close how the wall. You're a little bit less visible while you're peeking from the left and you're crouched, so you're going to be off radar. Potentially, that would have let you get the first shot and seen this guy first where you could have gunned him, but that's a little bit unfortunate. Not really a whole lot you could have done there. I couldn't really even see him from the spawn there, so it's just a little unlucky. As your teammate gets a nice cleanup, checking his sniper. I understand. I do that all the time too. Ooh, free special there. Awesome. You guys also have a 7-point lead with about almost 6 minutes left. And you have the heavy ammo. This is looking really good for you guys. Super is about to come up online. Now, I imagine the two Warlocks with Will of Radiance are going to have their supers first, so we got to be mindful of that, because those are the fastest charging supers in the lobby. Actually, your teammate might get bubble first, because you guys are rolling in this lobby, so potentially I imagine bubble would come up the fastest. I mean, it is depending on intellect and whatnot, but since you guys are doing well, and I imagine he'd get a super first. The grenade's all right. I would really, when you before like throwing this grenade, you already can tell that your teammates haven't really done much damage to the enemy team. This guy's like kind of standing and watching over here. This guy's just kind of crouched in the corner with his shotgun out. So realistically, when this guy walks up the stairs, what chance would you give yourself of actually being able to secure the kill with a grenade, rather than you wouldn't be able to do with your primary weapon? So if you see this guy who's kind of walking up here, you can kind of assume that he's going to be full HP, just because none of your teammates are going to have line of sight on him. So really, you should be trying to use a grenade a little bit more to secure kills, rather than kind of chip away at them, especially when you're at this angle where your primary probably would have done the same amount of damage as your grenade if you just like hit a couple shots. So again, just try to use your grenade a little bit more to secure kills, rather than just kind of force people out when like really nothing is happening. You guys are just really poking at each other. There's a ping right here. Good job looking around. I like that. You did notice the guy was wrapping around, so that was a nice job. Again, as a team, you should be trying to look to where people are split. You're in your scope for a little while longer, though. You keep scoping in and out, so your radar is up a little more frequently. Good job holding your primary out. Again, keep trying to scope in and out so you're not super unaware. Missed shotgun there. That's a little bit unlucky. Shotgun fights are 50-50 a lot of the time. You had the right idea when someone was flanking you. So I do like, even though you lost the shotgun battle right there, I do like your attempt to actually go for the duel rather than run away and just let him shoot you in the back. So that really realistically could have been a lot worse. I do like your decision right there. Again, good job playing close to the wall here. Teammate gets a nice grenade. Again, we're kind of just in a poke battle here, where we're kind of waiting for either one of these teams to make a mistake, so where it becomes like a 3v2 situation, so where they can collapse. Like that barricade. You should be running away. You should be working with your teammate in the bubble, trying to cut off the player in your Dawn Blade. Your teammate dies in his Dawn Blade. Really nice super there. Really nice super. I like that you recognized the well was right there. Your teammate was they were preoccupied with their teammate on the Dawn Blade, and you noticed that he had died. As you walked up here, you noticed your teammate was already dead, so you realized popping your super was worthwhile, and you had a really, really nice triple kill with your super. And you gave axes to your teammates, so you could potentially make this super even like a 4-kill, 5-kill, even a 6-kill super, if you guys are do some good work with the axes. But that was a really nice super there, Quantum. Potentially, we should look at this heavy ammo timer right here rather than pushing out. Controlling the heavy is probably going to be a little bit more of a safer option than pushing with the axes. The axes can be a little bit unreliable if you're trying to like throw them from a long range to somebody. So I know your teammate's already kind of pushing out, so you're kind of trying to like follow up with them, but like ideally you guys would be kind of planted by this heavy ammo, especially like such little time remaining till it drops. That could potentially give you guys even like a little safer set of kills for the next engagement there. But it seems like you guys are walking towards out with your axes. Oh, and you guys are actually kind of holding heavy. Actually, I shouldn't have paused all the way. Oh, your teammate gets a nice throw and kills him, but good job actually holding the heavy. I should have not paused right there. We should be looking to try. Now, there's a couple options here. You let the Dawn Blade run towards the heavy as you run away, and then they can secure heavy and they probably chase down the super. Or, since you're on Sentinel Titan, really realistically, most players when they pop their super, they're prone to mistakes. They're prone to like pushing a little bit too aggressively. And Sentinel Titan has a really nice tool in their kit, the Shield Bash Shoulder Charge, which suppresses supers. Potentially, you could run into a wall, and as he's gonna get really trigger happy as he's running down here with his super, seeing all the red pings, he's gonna want to push in and get that crazy like triple kill or whatever. Potentially, if you ran into this wall, charged up your shoulder charge by sprinting enough, and then re-challenged him and pushed him with your shoulder charge, you could potentially suppress him, making it an easy clean up for your teammates. Maybe you trade, maybe you die, but then you still shut down the super, and you guys are still in control of the heavy ammo here. So let's see what you do. Seems like you're running away. Use your shoulder charge again. I think the best decision there, as he's just gonna run down, I assume, with the super. would have just been to use a shoulder charge to go for a suppress rather than holding him, because realistically, unless you're using like a Vorpal Rose, a Vorpal primary weapon, you're not really going to be able to really deal with a super, especially in that tight area, without that suppress from your shoulder charge. But you guys choose to run, which is not the worst decision in the world, as you re-challenge. But yeah, now you're kind of stuck. So again, he does get the triple kill. I think the best course of action there, again, would just be trying to go for a shoulder charge and suppressing him, but nobody's perfect. So you guys secure heavy, so that could definitely, or they secure heavy, so that potentially gives them a big advantage, which would help them close the gap. I imagine that they get 1 or 2 kills with heavy and kind of use that to snowball, but we'll see. Again, we should be conscious of the heavy ammo. Try not to stay out in the open. Now, I know it's going to be difficult to deal with the heavy no matter what, but you could have increased your chances of being able to deal with the person with heavy if you were maybe hugging this wall here rather than being out in the open. Again, remember the left side peek. The left side peek with your hand cannon, very difficult to hit you when you're peeking from the left because you're not very visible. You may have not even gotten the kill. You may have not even gotten a lot of damage, but again, you would increase your chances of being able to deal some damage and clean up some kills here. Maybe even get a trade if you're standing near this wall, maybe shooting them as they're kind of walking towards you with the heavy. Because again, this guy with the heavy is going to be a little bit over aggressive because he has the heavy. I don't think he's going to be playing it super safe because he feels like on top because he's got the machine gun. So again, if you're playing close to the wall, you're going to make it difficult for him to shoot you. So let's just keep that in mind. They do use Well of Radiance. Your teammate did a bad decision of reviving you right there. That potentially could have gone a lot worse. Really, he should have let you like die and then respawn, or like maybe all the way across the map. So you may not have been at risk of dying. That was a bad mistake by Mr. Salty there. So you potentially are going to get cleaned up, I imagine. And because you die, you don't have get revived. You don't have special ammo. So yeah, you're probably stuck here in no man's land. That's a good barricade to stay alive. Good job running away. Your teammate gets a nice kill, actually. Good trade. Again, you could play the wall. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it over and over again. But again, you can always play the wall a little bit tighter when you peek in and out, rather than sitting in the open. That is how you can deal with some of these people with Redrix. Because even though it does do a lot of damage per burst, you can really decrease the amount of bullets that land per burst from them by, again, peeking from the wall. And again, what do you have available to you here on this right side? A left side peek, where you're going to be a little bit harder to hit. So we got 2 minutes left. So now, we know they've used their Dawnblade. They've used their Well of Radiance. You guys they're going to have one more Well of Radiance, it seems. And then you guys are going to have, I don't know if your teammate actually popped Dawnblade or not yet. But no more supers. There's going to be like 1 super max on each team that comes online. And you guys have a really solid lead. Let me go back to show the score. Up 5 kills with 2.5 minutes left. You guys should be looking to play slow rather than trying to go for the 35 kills. Let the opponent in the situation make the mistake, because they are the ones who have to push with the limited time available. Again, we should be trying to set up somewhere close to where we have access to cover, but we also have line of sight to where we could be holding an angle that they could potentially peeking. I don't know if you're quite visible from this tunnel here when you're sitting on this wall here, but potentially, if this wasn't able to look at you, you could sit on this wall. Again, left side peek. You could peek here. You could peek here. But be conscious of the radar pings and try to set yourself up in a position where you have access to participate in the engagement. So good job, no killing the sniper. Good job not peeking too much, getting your health back. Good job, repeek. They have a rift. We should be. You guys can actually team shot a rift. There's multiple people there, but again, if you're by yourself, try not to challenge the healing rift because they have such a huge health advantage. Snipers there, I like your disengage there, realizing there's a sniper. Good job. There's a person running your left. We should, because you were res, unfortunately, you didn't have any special ammo. So again, that was a little bit of a tough cleanup. Your teammates kind of died first, so not much you could have done there. Again, try to set yourself up. You're kind of standing around here. Try to set yourself up into an area where you can participate, but you're also like trying to be risk averse, I guess. Maybe setting up close to the left side with the rock, again, the left side peak, so you can see maybe down at the tunnel here. You can look into the area on the left, but set yourself up, Quantum, in an area where you can actually participate in the gunfights instead of just like watching your teammates get shot or shoot back. Because right now you're kind of not really looking at anything. As you walk up, and good job playing close to the wall here. We remember they do have heavy ammo here, guys. Now, you do have a lead. There is only 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Now, I know your teammates, it's probably not the best idea to challenge heavy by yourself. But ideally, in this situation, you and your teammates, you don't need to necessarily get the heavy. You just need to try to keep the enemy team from off the heavy, whether that be throwing a couple grenades to kind of push them off, holding out, trying to team shot, so you don't necessarily need to kill them, but making sure they can't grab it. Because if they have heavy, that could potentially let them push more aggressively and snowball and get those easier kills to tie up the score with such a little amount of time left here. So as he grabs heavy, again, we should be playing close to the wall because out in the open, you have a huge TTK disadvantage towards the heavy. I think you got shot from the right. I'm not quite sure. Let me see if he may have been pinged on the radar. I think he must have wrapped around. I think you were ADS, so like the timing of the ping was off. But you were kind of out in the open here. Not to this guy, but potentially you were open to the angle on the left. And your teammates were all the way back in spawn. Now, ideally, your teammates would not be sitting in spawn. That's definitely the thing for sure. But again, like I said earlier in this review, better to make a bad decision as a group than make the good decision by yourself, because obviously you're not going to be able to just magically fight against 3 people by yourself. So kind of got stuck in a bad spot there. But realistically, it was only a bad spot because your teammates were not really pushed up. So yeah, I think you hear the shots of the machine gun on the right, so he must have wrapped around with the machine gun trying to go for a cheeky flank, and it did work to their success there. Contemplating a weapon swap, maybe? I guess not. Your teammates are doing a good job staying alive. Up 1. That is a huge, ginormous trade from your teammate right there. So even though he died, you can kill your last teammate there. You still have a 1-point lead with 54 seconds left. Now, the machine gun probably still has ammo just because of how much ammo machine guns get from a heavy pickup. And potentially it's probably one of those like killing tally machine guns, so he has like a damage boost. So realistically, you should kind of be waiting back here for your teammates to spawn together with you rather than pushing in where you're potentially going to be by yourself again against multiple players. As you push towards your teammate, try to help. Again, huge trick from your teammate. If you're trying to be working towards back your teammate, you don't need to push up. I actually do like kind of holding in this middle area because it's going to be harder to kind of get pinched because you have lots of like exit opportunities. But again, we should be waiting for your teammate to group up, and it seems like you're doing the right thing here. So looks like they're working their way towards the left. Again, they may have the heavy ammo. You do notice like the little like wave of like energy, so you know they're sitting in Healing Rift. You should be, honestly, we shouldn't even be trying to shoot at this. We should be trying to run away. Considering our score, we're up 1 with less than a minute left. We should not be trying to challenge a Healing Rift when they have like potentially multiple players in it, all with overshields. So, ooh, that was a little bit risky. So again, I know you didn't die right here, but there was no chance in hell you were ever going to get this kill. Not to be mean, it's just that he's sitting in the Healing Rift, so he's going to have significantly more HP with you using the same gun type. So even if there was a second player looking with Set right here at you, you'd be dead. He two-tapped you. As you can see, your health is you're basically one shot. If he wasn't the only one shooting at you, you would have died, and you may have potentially cost your team the game there, but you did a good job disengaging after the first 2 shots after dying. But realistically, if you see that Healing Rift, just back away. If it's a 1v1, they're just going to have way more health than you do. Good barricade trying to protect your team. It actually blocks your teammate's grenade as well. That's a huge grenade right there. Huge grenade. Again, we have 30 seconds, so should be looking kind of to disengage and not get pinched in this little mid area here. You have an exit behind you. You could potentially go to your right, although there's probably someone maybe lurking over there trying to pinch you out. Potentially backing up outside the tunnel where you came from and working around through the little ice caverns could help waste that time, because there's only 30 seconds left. You have that 1 kill lead, so we should be trying to disengage and not go for kills here. You get a huge kill, trying to run away. Nice, good team shots, and I think that's going to be game right there. They're not going to have time. Again, we don't need to push them. We have a 3 kill lead with 15 seconds left, or 16 seconds left. As long as all 3 of you don't die, you're going to win the game. So really, Quantum, you just be running away, although they're not going to have a time now because you have the 4th kill. But again, that was the key spot that won you the game was, I think it was like right before the Healing Rift. Let's see. This spot right here. This was the turning point of your match where it could have gone. If you die here, there's a good chance you lose, but since you don't, you guys have a good chance of closing out the match. Again, potentially you could have lost if there was a second player in this area here, but you did a good job disengaging again. And you guys have won the match. That was a nice gameplay. You did some great things during that match. Let's see if you throw up the scoreboard. Maybe your Redrix is good. Let's see. Damn, Zen Moment Headseeker. You know, that's actually probably like really good after the Lone Wolf nerf. We'll see how that forms there. Damn, Accurize, Stability Masterwork, Extended Barrel for recoil direction, or Hammerforge for more range. Damn. All I'm saying is I'm not getting these god rolls. But you don't show the scoreboard. It's a little bit unfortunate. I kind of want to see it, but again, I know you're hyped about getting the god roll Redrix. So again, some key things to keep in mind. You did a great job really using your primary most of their match. That's one of the key positive things I want you to take away is keep doing what you're doing in terms of using your primary more than your special weapon. Great job. Again, try to be mindful of not being in the open as much as possible. Instead of holding your ADS button down, try to ADS in and out so your radar can periodically appear. You can get that little bit of information to kind of adjust your position accordingly. There were a couple times where your ADS a little bit too long, and so some guy was able to pinch from around, and you didn't have the information of the radar ping to let you know that you're getting flanked. So that was one thing. Again, trying to be a little bit closer to the wall when you're peeking with your 120 hand cannon, especially again when you're peeking, try to peek from the left so you can take less damage because you're less visible and get some good peek shots in and out, reduce that TTK difference for your 120. But thank you, Quantum, so much for submitting your gameplay. It was a pleasure, dude. And I think you're going to be improving a lot. This is only a Gold 3 match. You're definitely going to be ranking up if you keep playing. So thank you, Quantum, for submitting your match. And guys, if you want your gameplays reviewed like this one, there's going to be a link to the Discord down below in the comment section to the Discord where you guys can submit your gameplays. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.